So this article right here says Crypto Insider, another 270% Bitcoin price rally possible in 2023 with a new all-time high. Now, I'm asking you, Lifer, because I know as a general rule from knowing you and watching your content, you are generally a Bitcoin bull. So that being said, do we think that we could possibly see a new all-time high? Is this likely or not? And can you break it down a little bit for me on the charts? Go ahead and take a peek
And
at
did
it.
they give a date there, right? Was it
I just said this year. That's
this year,
that's,
in 2023.
Yeah. Yep.
I started staring
That's
at the charts and my
100,000.
brain got.
I just measured.
Yeah.
It's what?
It's 100,000, like 98,000. I just measured from where we are now, 270%.
270
so
to there.
So they're basically saying it's going to hit 100K and new all-time high.
Well, it's funny. I go to this like, I go to this like it doesn't always play out, right? I made this one idea, and we'll go back to this chart, but it shows you like spans of time, right?
Okay.
So where was I here? Right here, October 4th. All right, I'm trading, I'm doing my thing. Everyone's saying this was that, we had the dump. Everyone said the GBTC would take us to 10K. I actually found a golden pocket, and I longed Bitcoin at 32,000. It slipped down to like 29, but I eventually got to rally up to 69. It was amazing. This is also when I started getting into Phantom, but I did it off of a bullish divergence on the daily and a golden pocket on the fib from the bottom to the top. So then I found this cup and handle, and the cup and handle told me that we were going to get to 69,000 by November 20th. And lo and behold, this is crazy. But look, I was off by like, I don't know, about 12 days or something like that, It's pretty nuts,
That's
right?
wild.
So and who knows? That was one of my, like, I call it lucky. I don't know what it is, like, whatever. But I just wanted to show that because now I'm going to do a similar idea and just try to see if we can like time it. Because usually, TA, I don't like timing. Like most technical analysts, if you ask us when it's going to happen, we're going to tell you we're not sure. We just know that's likely to happen. You know what I mean? Like we don't really care about the timing. Like, I mean, we don't want to be 100 years old, but so if we go back here, I'm just going to delete all my old work that we just did. And I'm just going to show you macro idea. You got to start looking at the weekly and seeing like what could occur, right?
Yeah.
So this is a falling wedge. Falling wedges break up 68% of the time. So we got a falling wedge. Done. All right. That's achievable. No one would argue me on that. Then you have a length of your pole, which is the length. That's, and that could be Elliott in a way. 1, 2, 3. I'm not huge in Elliott wave, but so here, boom, right? And that's kind of what I did when I found that prediction. Right? Not saying this is going to happen and don't hold me to these things, but so 81,000 by December of 2023 is like the best I can get. Maybe on a crazy rally and a couple banks fall off, we could make an all-time high by the end of the year. There's a possibility by the TA. There is a possibility by the TA. I mean, I remember when everyone said we were going to dump here, and I drew the funkiest falling wedge I ever found, and I drew this pole, and we did it. We did it. And we did it basically in the exact time frame this arrow told us we would go. I'm very anal about the angles of my measured moves. I'm very like once you do it for a few years, you start to like it's not here, it's not there.
Well, it makes a difference because
it's right there.
Yeah, it'll move the price a lot.
Totally. Like how I was able to hit this prediction, it mattered. That angle was important. This angle has to match this angle. It's very important, and you're very selective of how you angle that. A little off or a little over, you know what I mean? I guess a little more, I would have nailed it. But, and again, it's an art. This is an art. It's a craft. No one's going to do it exactly the same, in my humble opinion. Somewhat, we all have a 90% structure. So in answer to your question, I mean, there's actually technical analysis that suggests it's a possibility, right? And if there was more price action for Bitcoin, even though there isn't, like it's kind of, I started making this, I use so many cup and handles, and I started seeing things, I call this an ascending cup and handle in a way. And it's kind of like the cup ascends, you come back down, and then it can continue. And I've played it many times. Some people call it a scallop, So that's interesting. Another thing, I remember some people talking. I just want to come out and publicly state that I'm 95% that's your bottom. And I'll tell you why. Because
that we've already hit the bottom.
Yeah, because the divergence tells me, just because that got me thinking, that's bearish divergence on the weekly. We didn't see it. I call the top there. I had been getting into divergence heavily, but by this time I was like I would made tons of trades on it, like cold. So I knew, and I also played the 21-day moving average. Whenever price gets away from the 21, I don't care what time frame, it's going to revisit it. If it makes a pretty good gap away from it, it's going to revisit it. Now here it kept going with it. So, but the smaller time frames, like look at the 4 hour. Every time we were on this pump for Bitcoin, if you wanted to swing trade Bitcoin, a great way to do it is to find like a wedge. Like these 4 wedges were really great plays for Bitcoin here. It pumped up, and look, they all made their exact measured moves. It's so weird. Like that nailed it. This one you could have taken just this, like a bit of the smaller flag because there was a little knuckle there. That nailed it. And each time what happens is price gets far away from the 21 and has to come back to it. And so I kept studying, and I studied this on every time frame. The 1 minute even I saw it happened on. So I'm sitting there on the weekly one day, and I'm like, this looks like we're going to pull back because we're too far away. When we're too far away from the 21-day moving average, and we had bearish divergence. I called the top right there, and it was sad for me because when I finally was about to make the video and tell everyone the next day, I was like, I knew in my heart like that 90% of my TA was telling me that the run was a wrap. And it was like sad for me because I am a Bitcoin bull.
Yeah.
And that's when you've become a technical analyst. When your TA tells you the truth and you have to face the music, no matter how you feel about something, no matter how bad you want it, your technical analysis tells you that the math is just not there at the moment. And maybe anything could happen, but you got to play probability because that's all you have.